Searching, searching for my baby. Searching, searching.
The critically acclaimed sequel to their multi-platinum debut, featuring High and Lonesome.